As I work on this landscape today, using only super granulation watercolors, I'm going to share a story about a transaction I had a while back with a new client. This took place about 3 or 4 years ago, and honestly, I still have some unanswered questions. Maybe once you've heard the details, you can help provide some insight, as I'm sure I'm not the only one who has experienced something similar to this. Okay, here it goes. So I was contacted through email by a store owner. She had found me on a wholesale marketplace where I'd been selling my jewelry for many years. And I often have retailers contact me in this way if they want something that differs from what I have listed on the website, or if they want to work together on a custom design. So that in itself wasn't anything out of the ordinary. The lady tells me that she is in the process of opening a brick and mortar retail shop. They're a few months out and they're looking into buying inventory. And after emailing back and forth a bit, she decides that she's interested in working with me to purchase a custom metal stamp. And again, this isn't anything new. I've ordered custom stamps for plenty of business owners, stamps that I only use on their behalf. And what happens is they pay for the stamp, so then I don't use that stamp on anything else. It's only for items within their shop. And so when she sent me her image, I do remember thinking that the design this lady wanted seemed very generic. Like there wasn't really anything specifically tailored towards her shop. There wasn't a logo or an elaborate design or anything. It kind of just seemed like an image you might see anywhere. But whatever, it's her choice, not mine. So I sent her an invoice through PayPal and she pays. It was maybe about $60 or $70. And a few weeks go by, and I receive this stamp in the mail, and I work on some mock-ups for her to choose from. She says yes to all of the designs that I had presented, and she wants to take a few of each. So it's a good size order, but nothing crazy, maybe a couple $100s. So I'm excited, not just about the order itself, but about the prospect of this new relationship. Because usually when someone goes through the trouble of ordering a custom stamp for their pieces, that means they will likely order more in the future. So once again, she receives her invoice and she pays, no issues so far. I send out the initial order with tracking and insurance. And it was maybe a day or two later that I notice an email from PayPal letting me know that I've received another payment from the same lady, but this time the amount is much more than what she had paid me before, like close to $1,000 more. And so I was about to email her to figure out what was going on when I saw that an email had already come through from her with the subject line urgent with many exclamation marks. And so it read a little something like this. Hi, Jamie. With all the confusion of getting my shop ready for opening day, I've accidentally sent a payment to you that was intended for another wholesale vendor. Please return the amount to me at your earliest possible convenience. Go ahead and keep $50 from the total for your troubles. I really appreciate your help and look forward to having a strong working relationship with you. And I'll tell you, when I read this, my chest suddenly felt tight. This raised some serious red flags, no doubt. But she had already paid me a good amount of money between the initial order and the custom stamp, and I didn't want to do anything to mess up this new customer relationship. So I took a moment to breathe, and then I began looking into PayPal's procedures. I Googled things like, what to do if I send a payment to the wrong person on PayPal. And it's been a while, so I might not be remembering this exactly right, but I believe the answer was to simply cancel the payment as long as the recipient hadn't yet accepted and confirmed the payment. Well, I had not yet accepted the payment, so I emailed her and told her, hey, great news, it looks like you can just cancel it on your end. No harm done. Well, a very fast reply came back. It said, it would be so much easier for me if you can accept it and send it back to me. Thanks a bunch, you're the best, blah, blah, blah. So I hit reply and I reiterated the fact that PayPal actually prefers that matters like this are handled in the following manner, and I cut and paste the info that I had found online. I ended the email by saying, I'm truly sorry for any inconvenience, but I would feel better sticking to PayPal's guidelines. I hope you understand. Well, the next email that I got from her wasn't as sweet as the last. She went on to say that she was out of the office until Monday and could only access PayPal on her work computer, so she would not be able to cancel it on her end. And she stated that I was, in fact, ruining her weekend and causing massive accounting problems for her. Not really sure why it caused her accounting problems, but anyway. And she was already under so much stress trying to get everything done in time, and I was making everything worse. So at this point, my emotions are all over the place. I'm going back and forth between feeling extreme guilt for, ruining her life and everything, and I'm racking my brain, wondering if there were any previous red flags that I had missed. And I remember her saying that her and her partner were still finalizing the name of the shop, so I didn't even have a store name to look into. So was it a scam? Was it a legitimate mistake? A scam, a mistake? I had no idea. My gut was telling me not to do it, but I really do hate confrontation, and I also hate to disappoint people, so I was struggling big time. I spoke to a family member whose job is sort of on the outskirts of this industry, already knowing that he would say, "Don't send the payment," and make her cancel it herself. And yes, sure enough, that's what he said. And by the time I went back to my home office, there was already another email from her, even more frantic sounding, and basically painting me out to be some sort of villain and her the victim. So I stood my ground and repeated my previous email almost word for word. "I'm so sorry for the inconvenience. I really would feel better sticking to PayPal's recommended procedures," and so on. I told her that I had spoken with a family member who works in the merchant processing sector, and his recommendation was the same: stick to PayPal's guidelines. Well, I was fully prepared for another blow-up, but much to my surprise, I heard nothing. Silence. And the transaction was canceled on her end soon after. In fact, it was canceled well before Monday morning, so I guess she found a way to access her account after all. And normally, I would follow up with my new retailers and make sure that they're happy with their custom pieces. But in this case, I was afraid that contacting her might be like kicking the hornet's nest. I didn't want to hear about how much trouble I had caused for her. And wouldn't you know it, I never did receive another order from her. So if it was in fact a scam, it's weird that she paid me for the first order, no problem, and didn't try to say that it was never received or that the order had been wrong. There was no attempt to get her money back. But on the other hand, if it wasn't a scam, but an honest mistake on her part, why wouldn't she have been more understanding about the situation? I mean, sending a payment overage and then asking someone to send it back is straight out of the scammer's playbook. It's scamming 101. And it's not like I know her personally. That's an awful lot of trust to put in someone you don't know. So tell me your thoughts. Was this Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde shop owner actually a scammer? Did I almost get fooled by an elaborate scam? Or did I just blow up a potentially long-term customer relationship due to lack of trust? I can't help but wonder if it was the latter, but with all the cons and scams going on these days, I couldn't really take that chance. I might never have an answer. Well, thank you so much for letting me vent, and I'd love to hear your own stories. Has your handmade business ever been targeted by a scammer? Let me know in the comments. I'll see you next time.